Well, hello there, everybody. It's Cynthia Varkavisser, and it's Chill and Chat Friday. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to just pick a topic and go with it. I would love to have you post any questions if you'd like, and see where it goes, okay? So what I found is in the past few months of readings, let's just say during COVID time, that we've had a really good chance to take a look at the parallels in our life. So what a lot of people have been just thinking about is what is it that I really want to do? What is it that no longer serves me? What is it that really pisses me off? What is it that I really, really desire? And it was lovely. I was interviewed on, or I got to contribute to a podcast from Fearless Generations, and it had to do with passion and um, making sure that you had value to your passion. The thing that's really interesting to me about passion is that it comes in a wave, meaning that there's an energetic thoroughfare of passion. If we are a little bit too low in energy, it's hard to get into the flow of passion. If we find that we're a little bit too amped up, then what happens is that passion actually makes us really tired. So it's important to stay in the lane of passion in order to get the highest amount of productivity. Now, before I go any further, I can't stop staring at myself because I look like I'm going to an 80s club. This reminds me of, oh my gosh, it reminds me of so many things. But just so you know, it's not lost on me. I have no idea how that happened, but here you go, glammed up. Anyway, so to get back to passion. It's very important for you to be within this energetic space. It's a hard thing to do. We have a life, we have emotions, we have things that we're really afraid of. So what's really important is that it's just like surfing, that we look for a way to catch the wave. It's okay to wait and sit. It's okay to find a better timing, or what we can do is that we create our energy in order to match the vibration of the passion energy. I did make a video of this, and I'll put it out next week so that you can check it out and see if it helps you. But what I'd like to talk about is my second favorite thing when it comes to passion. People, ooh, we have someone here. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have someone coming in. I apologize for the stop. And what I'll do is I'll finish the thought and then I'll come back. So the thing that's really interesting about passion is sometimes we think too much about passion. And what thinking does is that it closes the scope of our possibilities. When we're just being really present and trusting that we are in that space of passion, that we can just move forward and be really productive. And if we're not feeling productive, just trust that the productivity is happening on the other side. Law of attraction. All right. But in those days that we don't feel it, here's my suggestion. If you've ever had a reading with me and you find that you're one of those people that are pretty stuck, really smart, I find that the really smart people tend to be just a little bit on the stubborn side, which is, it's okay. What we can do is we can take a look at another piece of our life and know full well that and trust that as we work on one side of our life, then it will untangle the other side of our life. So I'm going to give you an example. What I have found is that a lot of people like to talk about their relationships. And I think it's lovely. And I love that they want to have the best relationship, do the best for their partner or family member or loved one, without really doing damage to self. I think it's super healthy. So what happens is it's really hard to take a look at the relationship, and there's only one person that you can shift, and that is yourself. And then we trust that as we shift ourselves, that your partner or the loved one has the opportunity to shift as well. So we can do one of two things. We can really ram our heads against that issue, or what we can do is we can take something that's not so intimidating, but you have the same challenge, and we focus on that. So what usually happens is that if we're going to talk about relationships, and it's hard to look at the relationship, then it's really easy to look at work. A lot of times people are having a challenge in their relationships, they like to escape into work. Well, here's a secret. You are 100% wherever you go. There is no hiding it. So that means if you're having a challenge in a relationship at home, you're pretty darn sure that there is going to be a challenge in your work relationship. Hello, Ms. Anne Marie. Good to see you. And welcome, Erin. Feel free to ask questions if you have any as we go along. I'm happy to stop and answer or have a conversation as you see fit. All right. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say that we have a relationship. I had one client who was having a challenge in the relationship, and but wanted the relationship so badly that there was this, you see this tightening, this I'll call it a sphincter tightening, right? That their butt was all clenched up, and when your butt's clenched, you can't relax. You don't have the energy for this thing to happen. All right, but this person was also very competent, very relaxed at work. However, work was not perfect. So it was easy to talk about work and to do the things in the work environment, better ways to create relationship, better ways to communicate, better ways to create boundaries, better ways to say yes and say no. And as this person worked on these things in their business environment, what happens is that this untangling happens over here on the personal sense. Again, it's the same issue or same challenge, it's just got a different face on it. So pick the one that's not so intimidating. Pick the one that is not, that you're not afraid that if you lose, you know, your life is going to go to shit. It's really important to pick the thing that you have confidence in. Now, let's reverse it. Let's say that you're ready to go off on your own. However, it's a little bit challenging, especially these times with shelter in place. It's great. It's really easy to have objections. How am I going to make connections? How am I going to get things started? Where do I meet the people I need to meet in order for myself to go forward? All kinds of crazy questions. How in the heck am I going to create the revenue? How am I going to be able to stick with my current job as I create this new thing? I mean, the questions are endless. Same thing with the relationship, but let's just work with business. So then what happens is we can take a look at another part of that person's life. I can almost guarantee you there's a part of their personal life that could use a little bit of organizing, right? Maybe they haven't done laundry in a couple of weeks. Maybe they haven't called their parents and they're feeling guilty about it. Maybe there's an unresolved issue with a kid that's just annoying, but not anything huge. There is your opening, right? So what you want to do is find the things that where you can unclutter or declutter, clarify, streamline in your personal life, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to go ahead and bounce on over to your business life. Super simple. There's no magic to it, and yet it's magical. I guarantee it. All right, so I'll give you an example. I can tell you that I have some hidden clutter. I'm not going to show you, but just trust me, there's a little bit of hidden clutter. So I work mine in the reverse. Whenever I find that I have a little bit of hidden clutter, or all of a sudden my clutter becomes unmanageable, all of a sudden I have these blind spots that happen to have little piles of paper, I know that there's something going on in an aspect of my life. And all I have to do is take a look at the piece of my life that I haven't been paying attention to. It could be my kids, it could be my relationship, it could be my business, it could be myself, right? And what happens is that it shows up in a different way. If you talk to anybody who does decluttering, they will tell you that is a decluttering thing 101. If you do feng shui, there is a really beautiful hummingbird right outside my front window. Beautiful. Okay, sorry about that. So if you talk to a feng shui practitioner, you'll find that there are other things that happen that are in a similar situation. And of course, I do house clearings, and so energetically, it's the same there. All right. Now, I wanted to talk very quickly before I move on to something else that I had promised that this week's Chill and Chat would be about symbology. Really, we are talking about symbology. It just happened to be within the context of passion. Symbology is anything that shows up and reoccurs, or that is a little bit out of the ordinary. I just told you that a hummingbird flew right in front of my window. I want you to know that doesn't happen very often. And so when it does, I pay attention. So that is symbology to me. It's anything that catches my attention in order for me to take note and help me understand what's going on in my life. It could be to me personally, it could be to me environmentally, but just know it's always to me. All right. So take a look. Last week or 2 weeks ago, because we had the lovely Janet Louie last week talking about Batsy astrology, which was kind of amazeballs, ain't gonna lie. 2 weeks ago, we talked about symbology in the form of numbers. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to use symbology in the form of waking dreams. So what the hell's a waking dream? Here's what it is. It is anything out of the ordinary that causes you pause. I remember there was a time in my life, things were going fairly well meaning that I had no complaints. I was feeling pretty happy-go-lucky. My health was good. My family was good. It was good. And what happened was that as I was driving along, no matter where I went, I saw roadkill. It could have been, and the animals were a little bit odd. Saw a raccoon mid-stride onto the side of the road. I saw a deer like this, boom, side of the road. I remember there was just stuff, and luckily nothing so painful that, it was like a nightmare. But here's what happened. It made me take notice. It made me see that there was a lot of death on my path. Now, some people will say, holy crap, that is scary AF. It's not. What it's saying to me is that, look, it's time to move forward. You are pretty comfortable and things are good. But don't we want to go a little bit more than good? Don't we want to be that kind of person to show excellence? Don't we want to be the person who can be an amazing example and hopefully inspire someone else? That is the thing that I would love to do. My goal is to be so perfectly human, which means cuss, have a bad day, have a great day, be jealous if I'm jealous, just be really honest in my emotions, as well as get into that intuitive and spiritual side. So I'm working in two realms at the same time. Then I have an opportunity for you to take a look and go, if this dumbass can do it, then I can do it, right? So that's the thing that's really important. So now we're going to go back to symbology. So what happened is that there was a lot of roadkill. I could have taken the symbology and gone through my symbol dictionary and go, what does a deer mean? What does a raccoon mean? Or I could just go, holy crap, that is a lot. I'm seeing a lot of death as I'm going along my path. And that's the way I chose to take a look at it. So it was time for me to move on. And believe it or not, I did something really, really huge. And that's when I decided it was time to separate from my relationship. Now, here's the other funny thing. I got to stay in the house just for a little bit of time. And of course, once there's big change, then there's always this kind of crazy, miserable or weird stuff, right? And I was trying to figure out what this new life looked like. And as I did that, some other animals came to visit me, namely cockroaches. This is a place where the house is beautiful. It was in a great neighborhood. super well sought after in Oakland, and never had that problem. Had lived in that house for, I think at that time, had lived in that house for 13 years. And all of a sudden, cockroaches appeared. They appeared everywhere. They were in my sink, they were in my stove, they were in my microwave. Couldn't get away from them. Couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about them. And then I realized it was time to move out, that there were too many things bothering me in the space of the house. Now, the best part is at that time, my ex-husband says, you know what, you had the house long enough. It's time for me to go back and you go out and you do your thing. It's time for you to move on for real. And I did. And so guess what happened? Cockroaches disappeared. Ex-husband never saw one. It was the strangest thing, and yet these are the things that happen within symbology. So pay attention. It doesn't have to be animals. Another one of my favorite symbolic animals are the crows out here. When a crow caws 3 times, I know that I need to pay attention. But there are symbols everywhere. They can be in the form of an animal. They can be in the form of a wind that you feel that doesn't belong. It can be in falling leaves where falling leaves don't belong. I have another favorite one that has to do with car accidents. I have a great friend a long time ago. Well, she's still a great friend, but a long time ago, she had this really cute Volkswagen GTI, super cute, super clean. And I think within like 1 year, absolutely, and it was never through the fault of her own, she got in a bazillion tiny fender benders, and every part of her car was beat up. I mean, it looked like a piece of trash, except for the driver's side left back quarter panel, right? That was still pristine, but there are ding marks and scratches everywhere else except this one little piece that was pristine. And she was so tired of getting into these car accidents and really tired of being bumped and harassed and things like that. And at that time, I was just starting my intuitive work, and I said, "Oh, that looks like it's a symbol or a waking dream." And we worked it from there. So accidents are also a form of symbols. Waking dreams are amazing. Anything that is out of the ordinary during your day, pay attention and let me know. Let's have a little bit of fun and do that kind of thing. So summing up, we talked about 3 things. One is about being in the vibe of passion. There will be a meditation coming out. It's one of my favorite meditations. I always make sure to teach it to the newbies as they come into my classes. Then there is if you have a hard time taking a look at what is interfering with your passion or your forward movement, take a look at something else. And just know that as you clean up, if you clean up the mess in this room, it's going to actually untangle a mess in this room. Super simple. And the last is to pay attention to the symbols, especially during your waking state. It could be anything, right? As long as it attracts you and is something that causes you to pause, that means there's a moment for you to reflect and see what's going on with you. So I hope that you really enjoyed these pieces, these little tidbits. I love having Chill and Chat Fridays, anything intuition. Happy to open up conversations at any time. And if I don't see you before, I look forward to seeing you on this Friday. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that there are going to be some classes coming up. So a 3-week class that's coming up, 3-class series called My Mother's Work. It's been taught before. You can take it again, and you can take your mother's work into a deeper level. And following that, there will be My Father's Work, which is a story of surrender. And I'm really excited to teach that. So My Mother's Work is about legacy. My Father's Work is about surrender. Super, super, super excited. And then what happens after that? What happens after that is there's a 3-day intensive called Soul Access Point, where we learn to connect with everything on all levels that have to do with energy and intuition. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. it will be on my Facebook page and on my website. So feel free to take a look there. All right. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Be safe and have a really good time being human. Bye.